Hi, welcome back to another metal instructional video. Today I'm going to try and explain a bit about my foot technique, as I've been getting a lot more questions about that recently online and when I'm away playing shows and stuff. So hopefully this will give you a bit of an insight to the basics on how to get started. The technique I use is heel toe. I do believe that that is the best technique going on at the moment. A lot of people think it's cheating, but you know, I say that's rubbish. You know, that's the same as saying you're not allowed to do doubles with your hands or use your fingers. It's a stupid excuse. Anyway, check out what I'm about to show you and hopefully pick something up, learn something. Cheers! Okay, welcome back. Here we are. Yeah, heel toe technique. Very simple when you know it, but as I learned when I started to learn it, it's a lot harder than you expect at first, especially to get it tight, consistent. That's where all the effort comes in, and like the time and practice. So okay, let's try and explain this. Heel toe is basically the motion of your heel coming down first to get the first hit, and then the front of your foot. Sounds simple, take a bit more practice than you expect. I use axis pedals. What I've found from when I do it is I get the best strike with the heel if I hit right on the little circle at the heel of the pad. That's where I find my foot sits best, and that's the first strike. The harder you drop your foot, the more power you're going to get. It's that simple. Then after that, it's a case of following through with the front of your foot, as if you're doing like the heel down motion, which is, so it's heel, foot, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Yeah, that's the basics. What I've noticed about when I play heel toe is it looks as if I'm swiping my foot towards me as I play. It's because when I play heel, like standard heel up, I have my foot around here on the footboard, you know, kind of midway, just where the axis board curves in. I found that's just where it sits, and it's, you know, it's comfy. So when I do heel toe, my foot comes forward, my heel hits the circle of the axis board, then my foot comes, like, steps back into its normal heel up position. Don't know why it does that. I didn't really notice until I actually watched back on some video. But that's what I've noticed it does. I find that's how I get power from heel toe. A lot of people seem to be able to play really fast but have no power or like preciseness. But doing it this way, I've noticed that I do get two powerful strokes, and I can make it very consistent between the two pedals. And I do exactly the same with the left foot. You know, heel on the circle, toe where I normally have my foot in heel up position. You know, that's the basics. What I'd suggest doing is just concentrate on your feet at first. Don't bother about the hands, just try and get it so you can play, like, you know, fairly consistently at the start. What I'd do is I'd sit there, I'd play just 8th notes and then put in some 16ths, just like this. That's what I would focus on doing. I wouldn't bother trying to play it too slow, because it doesn't sound very consistent when you play it slow. You need to be doing at least like 185 BPMs, I'd say, at 16ths. That's when it becomes useful. Below that you may as well just do heel up, as you probably already are. I started doing heel toe originally just because with as much effort and practice as I put in, I couldn't really get above 200 playing consistently and for long periods. And I found that I get really quiet when I play fast. Playing heel up, it's like, you see, it's very quiet. I can play a lot louder with heel toe, and a lot of people don't believe that's true, but I think they've either tried it and not given it enough time, or they're just you know, keyboard warriors pretty much. But yeah, I'd definitely say this technique's worth looking at. especially in a lot of my songs I do with my band, we don't do a lot of like full-on blasting double kick, but we do a lot of like triplet stuff, like in breakdowns and all that kind of stuff. So it works out really well for that. You can get really tight triplets, which is something I also struggle to do with standard heel up. Because with standard heel up, you'd have your right foot going for it, and then your left one would be essentially filling in the gaps to make the triplets. So it'd be like, do you know, it's fine at slow speeds, but when you want to go faster, it's easier to just do doubles on the right and single on the left. So you go in, okay, I'll play standard, then I'll drop in the triplet. You'll be going. And that way it's easy to switch around as well, so you can do the triplet the other way around, like this. You're just doing it with the left foot instead of the right, and that means you can do loads of awesome combinations which would normally be pretty difficult the standard way around, like something like this. You see, that literally took no effort, just made it up on the spot. It's, you know, it's a great technique when you've got it down. I'd say it took me probably around 4 months of kind of, I didn't practice solid, but I put in quite a bit of time. 4 months I'd say I did. The hardest thing about learning or adapting to heel toe is getting used to playing doubles instead of singles all the time. You've got to kind of think as your feet are playing the eighth notes, then each foot produces the double that creates the 16th of that eighth note. So as you count, like these are the eighth notes, and you're dropping in the extra 16th with the foot. Doesn't sound that complicated, but if you've been playing drums for a long time, you're kind of used to just doing everything with singles, and that's probably what takes the most time to get used to. Yeah, I'll just show you some basic beats really that I've used to help work on consistency. I just play standard beat with my hands, it'll just be just on my practice pad. Okay, obviously the one I showed you before, standard 8ths and then 16ths, 8ths, 16ths, I'd probably say that's the best one to practice, because you can start that fairly slow and then work up to high speed. It's one that I still practice them like to this day, because the hardest thing I've found about heel toe as well is getting the initial strokes to come off smooth. Like when you've held the consistency for a while, it tends to smooth out, but starting like straight away with the consistency is the thing to work on. So if you're doing this, you're constantly having to start with 16ths, then stop, go back in. It's good practice. So here we go. Okay, here's another one that's good for working on those triplets. It's essentially just playing all the doubles with the right and none with the left. Okay, here we go. And then inverted the other way around. That's a really good one to work on, especially if one foot is struggling behind the other. Just focus on the one foot that's struggling, and that'll easily catch it up. Another one is starting, well, playing it standard, but then adding in 16th with the left foot first and then the right, then stopping. I found that's just, I don't know, it's something weird. It just played in my mind a little bit. Starting with the left foot, it seems to get hard to get to flow. But when you've done it, it's something definitely worthwhile. So here's that one. Okay, those are some basic exercises that I would definitely recommend starting out with. like that. I'd probably say if you're going to play with a click, well, you probably don't want to jump into that straight away because it's going to take you a while to get used to it. But when you're starting to feel that it's flowing, jump in with a click, start around 185, just play through the exercises, bump it up 5 BPM each time, you know, and just keep on going. I don't really work on speed. Now I kind of know it is kind of, you know, it's just in the muscle memory, so you don't really need to think about it. But I can get up to speeds of 230, 235, and I don't practice for speed at all really, maybe once a month or something, which I know is very lazy. I'm sure I could play way faster and for longer periods of time if I wanted to, but you know, drumming isn't my full-time thing at the moment, so this is just, like, you know, a great way to get those fast speeds without that much effort. Okay, if you have any questions or anything, maybe I've missed something, haven't explained something very well, just please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. Cheers.